Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the top 45 recommended Bell and the Birdmen podcast, everybody. I'm John Barchard, and that is Vince Quinn. Of course, Taylor Credatis along with us. And this thing in my glass here, right here, as Ben promised he would. He said he was going to send something very Hertz-like for the show. It arrived very quickly, and if you can't see it because you're listening on the podcast, it says, "Want a Hertz donut." Yeah, and it's from the Hertz Donut Company. So this will be the official post-game coffee cup after a win. I don't care if it's the morning, noon, or night, but this thing is so great. It's got brass knuckles as a handle. So, Ben, I love you. Thank you so much. Vince Quinn, are you ready for the Hertz MVP season? Are you ready for Boomer Sooner Nation? That is Sooner, not Soomer. Boomer Sooner.
Sooner.
As Trey Sermon joins the program. Jalen Reagor is indeed sent to Minnesota. I would love to know all of your thoughts on we are less than 10 days away from going to Detroit. So,
Christ.
How are we feeling about Trey Sermon and Jalen Reagor? Let's start there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jalen Reagor, we begin there.
Hooray!
Hooray! We did it! He's going! Oh, yeah, get the Venga boys going. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, God, just the worst. I mean, the guy, because that was the last, like, if I was going to nitpick, like, this is the super nitpickiest bullshit ever, but it would have been Jalen Reagor actively hurts you, and you owe it to yourself if you have a team this good to not have him on the roster and eat the money. So the fact they got into Minnesota and they got a fourth-round pick?
Yeah.
A fourth-round pick? Who cares if it goes to a fifth? You got a fifth-round pick and something else for Jalen Reagor who nobody wanted.
Nothing.
That's a miracle. I mean, how he keeps doing this. And this is like, you talk about the Saints last time with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, how the Saints get ripped off all the time. Does it with the Vikings too. It doesn't matter who's in charge over there. He just keeps finding out who's in charge in Minnesota and goes, "Hey, how about some junk? How'd you like to pay me a lot for this junk?"
You were responsible for Jalen Reagor being here. How would you like him back in Minnesota? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I know him best, absolutely. So
okay, must not know him that well.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, did you see the Minnesota beat reporter that was like, "Oh, they got Jalen Reagor. That's nice. He'll really help out the punt return game." And then like the reply tweet under that, literally 7 minutes later, goes, "After some simple research, I'll see that that's not going to help at all." Oh my God! Like, what are they? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So good luck trying to. I can't believe that, like, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles are now going to be etched in history forever. And this was my worry because I was a Reagor fan over Jefferson. I was that guy. And immediately as I said that, I go, shit, but I also hope it's not like one of the most disastrous decisions of all time where the Eagles picked the wrong wide receiver. And to Taylor Credatis' point, now that he is gone, so is Justin Jefferson. So is DK Metcalf ever coming out of this mouth ever again, because we have Trey Sermon, we have A.J. Brown, we have Devontae Smith, we still have Miles Sanders. But that will get worked out more than ever, which any thoughts on Trey Sermon real quick, by the way?
I'll say this. Fun prospect. I liked him coming out, third-round pick in San Francisco. I legitimately, I remember talking about how I thought he could win Rookie of the Year. Just like running back of power like his in that offense, he's going to go off. 41 carries.
Yeah.
So, look, it's Shanahan who's gotten a lot of guys, too. He's got the track record of getting absolute nobodies and making them stars.
Yeah.
That's all he does. So for Trey Sermon to have that pedigree of like, hey, we're going to spend a third-round pick, we really believe in this guy, and then they shut him out the door already because guys like a seventh-rounder in Tyrion, whatever his last name is, it's a hyphenated last name, but he's a seventh-round pick, pushed him out the door. Nice experiment, competition for Kennedy Brooks, two Oklahoma backs that are now competing against each other, and we see what happens. But it's a nice, the fit is nice stylistically.
Yeah, I think this is, to your point, another thing that, like, the Eagles were going to try and trade for this guy. We heard that from a bunch of people leading up to, the last few days of making the 53. And instead of trading probably like a seventh or sixth or whatever it is, they just get him for free because they know, all right, you can't afford him anyway. And to your point, I think a lot of people are going to recognize that and be like, well, if he can't work in Kyle Shanahan's office, like what kind of value is he going to bring? The difference between like plug-and-play running back in Kyle Shanahan's system versus anywhere else in the NFL is you got to know exactly step by step, inch by inch where you're supposed to be because the left tackle's Hall of Famer Trey Williams Is that Trent Williams?
Trent Williams.
That's been going around all offseason. You see how fast that guy's moving, pulling left tackle to swing out to the right. You better know where you're at. And I just don't think Trey is that type of player either. I think, you have to, Shanahan has to trust you implicitly because he's got Jimmy fucking Garoppolo like managing the game and arching you down the field and things like that. So these guys get thrown out all the time. And I'm actually really excited to see him in a non-Shanahan system, even though it sounds crazy because he's smart and he's amazing and all that, but he recycles running backs like crazy. So, Matt Breida was the hottest fantasy football name for like a year and a half and then gets hurt. Mostert comes in. Now they get that rotation. So I actually love Trey Sermon's size for all this. And it makes me never have to look at Miles Sanders in a goal line situation ever again. So I am happy.
Yeah, it's a good place to be because that's what you wanted, right? That's why I wanted the legend.
Yep.
I'll just leave it. I don't even need to say his name. I just wanted the legend here. So he doesn't come in. So, all right, you got Trey Sermon. And it's the same thing as all the other guys. It's on some level, like they've added all these young guys that if they work it out can have a role here for a couple of years. It's A.J. Brown. It's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on a low end. You now might have a power back for the next few years if he can figure it out.
God, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is such a fucking great name to yell out, isn't it? Like on a PA system. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Right? Just has that big time feel. I love it.
And if it was like 8 years ago, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
I love it. I don't love where I think your worst case scenarios for the season are, which is the point of us discussing some things today. So I think this will be interesting between you, me, and Taylor here. But I'll let you lead.
All right.
In your mind, and this is as real, want to be very clear on this.
Yes.
This is as realistic as you can see in your scope, right?
Yeah.
Like the worst possible scenario that Vince Quinn sees is what?
So, yeah, worst possible scenario is Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown just don't work. Just doesn't work. And everybody's hyped up about it, and everybody wants to go gangbusters, and we talked about this a little bit before, but I think it is literally the worst-case scenario because it's everything about this team fundamentally. It is building around Jalen Hurts in every single capacity. Him as the franchise guy. That's the reason A.J. Brown is here. It's just pretty obvious. So you make that investment. They're best friends. It's all about chemistry on the Eagles, all that kind of stuff. If those two don't connect, how weird can this get? Because the offense isn't flowing through him and he wants to be that guy and wants to be with Jalen. Like, what are the frustrations there? How does it boil over? How does the offense adapt? And also, just might not score a lot of points. Like, if you're trying, because if I'm Jalen Hurts and I'm trying to get my best friend the ball in the middle of the field, but I suck at throwing in the middle of the field, and I'm throwing interceptions and all because I'm trying to force it, like that is a scary scenario.
You are so obsessed with this middle of the field.
How can you not be? It's crazy to not be obsessed with the middle of the field.
In the middle of the field last year, Vince Quinn, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert. Who else was in the middle of the field? So was Zach Ertz for a little bit, and it looked weird. And he was weird being in the middle of the field, which he shouldn't be. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he is throwing it several times in the middle of the field from the offseason until now, which is officially over. I'd like to remind everybody, which is exciting. But so it's just the middle of the field thing with Jalen Hurts. And you're like, you could clearly see that being a worst-case scenario where that doesn't match up. His best friend that he's known forever.
Yes.
That tried to recruit him to come to Alabama instead. He went to Ole Miss.
Yep.
And they still kept talking after that. And then when they got into the pros, they still kept talking after that. And they work out together, and they know each other's language, and they're going to drop their nutsacks like violently on the football field. And they've been waiting for this day for how many years? Since they were teens?
Yeah.
And you're worried that they won't connect.
They might not.
That's possible, a realistic scenario that his best friend doesn't connect with
That's
him.
why it's such a disaster, because it is a perfect storybook.
Yeah, I know it's a disaster. I'm saying it's more of a disaster that this is realistic in your scope. How do you see Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown not working out?
Because A.J. Brown's best thing, the whole engine of the offense could be A.J. Brown in the middle of the field. If it's him and it's built around that and getting him the ball in the middle of the field and running all those routes that way and building everything else off of A.J. Brown in the middle of the field, you've got to execute that to go with the running game, and that's how it's going to fly. If that engine doesn't work, then you got to refigure out the offense again. And like Jalen looks bad, and it's a weird space to be.
There's no
it's
way
fundamentally weird.
Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are going to have an issue connecting on the football field. None. Zero. Like,
Why?
I am so on the opposite side of your worst case scenario. Like,
Why,
yes,
though?
that would be the worst case because it's nearly impossible, Vince Quinn. Have you seen A.J. Brown play football? Do you see the type of quarterbacks that he's went through from college to Tennessee to where he's at now? And we're, like, at Jalen Hurts' floor, which I think you can almost say now is Ryan Tannehill, right? With room to grow, and he's got much better legs and all this other stuff. He's bulked up this offseason. I know that doesn't mean much, but, like, things are changing. They're constantly working on this all of the time.
Yeah.
After
Well,
practice,
they've had
before
to.
practice, all that. Yes, of course.
Yeah, they've had to.
Like, it's just like there's nothing. It's just there's no all of this work that they put into for something that they wanted to happen for years, going back to high school. They're not going to be on the same page. There's a possibility that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are not on the same page.
Yes, like, look, Giannis Antetokounmpo's played with his brothers, but if they're not any good, they're not any good. You could dream about it your whole life, but it's not just good energy and positivity that makes things happen. It certainly
Jalen
helps.
doesn't have to be the star here. That's what I'm trying to tell
but
you.
he's the
AJ's
guy that has to deliver the ball. AJ can be open all day.
Do you think Jalen's going to go, fuck AJ, I can do this with Quez Watkins? Or like,
well, no.
No. Let's go that way because it's not working between me and my best friend.
That's not what I'm saying. It's just the possibility is he's not able to get A.J. Brown the ball. And if he's not able to get A.J. Brown the ball, it's going to be weird. It could be massively problematic with how the offense has very likely been built this offseason.
We go to Taylor Credatus. I don't know, man. What do you think? Realistic that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts do not function this season?
I think it's the other receiver, Devontae Smith.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Go on.
Okay, that's a knife in my heart now.
Go on.
Well, if you're thinking about Jalen Hurts throwing it, I think you're way better off having A.J. Brown doing a jump ball catch. Like, that's going to be the way more easy play to do rather than Devontae going all the way down the field by himself usually. I think A.J. Brown gets all the looks, and then Devontae doesn't get as many as he did last year.
Targets go down.
Okay.
Is he? I mean, I could see Taylor's scenario much more clearly than yours. Like, if this does happen too, like we get, and I don't think this will happen with Devontae, but there is always that weird sophomore dip sometimes, you know, where you've got to like relearn after tape and some of that. He's dealt with some injuries early on during training camp. I'm sure it's just soft tissue, no problem. I could see it. I could see that being a worst case scenario. AJ works out so good that Devontae's actually kind of neutralized in this offense.
And I can live with that, and I think the downside of that is okay. You know, but here's the problem. Like the only reason I don't agree with that is that Devontae Smith was able to get the ball down the field last year. He made a lot of catches like that, like jumping over a guy, vertical. Yeah. So I've seen that work. Like I can believe in that a little bit, but it's just the whole thing is because. And here's the problem with my take, and this is part of why I think it is so problematic in the worst case scenario. Everything about this argument is the least cool, least fun thing I could possibly say about this team.
No one's happy doing it.
No, it's like I don't want to be that guy, but if you're talking about as we go into this, a team that I'm over the moon about, best roster in the NFC, all this kind of stuff.
You just said that last time.
Yes. So I have to talk about that is the absolute worst case. Is this relationship between two guys that has lit this city on fire and is the basis of who they are now, right? It's all of this attitude, swagger, talking shit, doing it on Twitter, doing it on the field. Like that's who they're becoming right now. And if that thing does not work, it's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
Yeah, well, you're talking about like that. What you're speaking of sounds dream teamish. That's what I mean. You see it is that bad.
He said the thing.
It's those two.
He said the thing.
Yeah, I said ish.
Yeah, it's
DT-ish.
Because once in a while, too, and this doesn't always happen, but it can happen, is you get guys that are star players, star wide receivers, they're in their prime, they used to hit the free agent market, go to a new team, and it just never worked out the same. You know, like, and I know this is going back in the vault a little bit. I wish I had a more recent example on me, but like Mike Wallace back in the day killed it for the Steelers, hits the free agent market, gets paid all the money in the world, goes to Minnesota. Does anybody even remember that?
Nope.
Fell off the face of the earth. Greg Jennings did the same thing, went to Minnesota. Does everybody even remember that?
I remember that because that's when Brett Favre threw that zip line right to Greg Jennings in the back of the end zone, and it was like career highlight. But yes, other than that, no.
But like, yeah, and maybe Wallace went to Miami first. Either way, like that
He did.
So that has happened. So it's one of those things where you want to believe it, you want to see it, and like for what it could be great, and it fixes the biggest offensive hole the Eagles have if they get this right. But if they don't, it's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess if they don't have the middle of the field.
If you're right by any instance in this being the worst case scenario, and AJ Brown looks like more like Mike Wallace than T.O., then yes, that's that's the whole season. Honestly, like AJ Brown's the linchpin. So
that's
But I don't see, like, he's proven it time and time and time again that he's not that player in a run first offense. So that's really hard to mask.
Well, and that's going to be the other side of it, too, because going back to, like, Ryan Tannehill in that comparison, Ryan Tannehill and the Titans, they ran play action basically more than anybody, which makes sense. You have Derrick Henry. Right. So you fake handoff, fake handoff, fake handoff, fake handoff. And what happens? Linebackers come up because Derrick Henry's 900 pounds and he runs a 4.40. So they have to go after that. And then the middle of the field's open and Tannehill just boop right over. So they were able to do that constantly. Is Jalen Hurts going to run play action every other play?
Yes.
Okay.
They're going to run it every single snap.
Look, and if they do that, it's a good plan and it can make this work. But until I see it and thinking about what is the absolute worst thing that could happen to the team, that is the absolute worst thing in my mind that could actually happen.
All right, those are some pretty decent worst case scenarios. Here's mine. This team is 9-8, 8-9, 10-7. That right there, my friends, is the worst case scenario to be in. It's something we talked about on the last show, but I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts. I don't know if it's Nick Sirianni, and I'm suggesting that, like, it's a fleeting, you're out again in the first round. You maybe make it to the division round, like, but it's not smooth. It's not pretty. That's the worst case scenario. If it falls off a cliff, that in Vince's scenario, I am so fucking happy because there's a way out and there's picks behind it and all that, right? But if you're stuck in the middle, now you're presenting yourself a problem. You're too good to, you can use the assets to get up there, absolutely, and I'm sure the Dolphins are going to be out of the mix now, and it's so hilarious that they just named Tua the captain just to put it on top because they know they can't get another quarterback. So it's really
trying.
Cute.
They're trying.
But, like, there's ways to get there. I am confident that Howie Roseman could find those and the best deal to do it. I have no doubt about that. Still not something you want to happen. Like, even though I adore the 2 QB system, they're not going to do that here. I think Jalen could handle it. I think he could Jimmy Garoppolo, like I said on this stuff, but, like, having a plateau of this team with this roster is a mind fuck. We're going to be yelling all sorts of things in the offseason. I'm going to want Sirianni's head on a platter. That means Gannon's probably staying here, and if that's just okay, like, it's just going to sit there for a year. I don't think heads would roll. But you're going to make the choice on the quarterback before the coach. So, like, that to me is the worst case scenario of anything that is not below 8 wins and anything that's not above 10.
Oh, God. As you've been talking about this, I've gotten a knot in my stomach. Like, it's just the agony of thinking about, okay, well, was it more Sirianni or was it more Hurts or was it Gannon? And I have to go through
6
that
months.
for a whole offseason.
6
because
months.
Here's the other side. All of that is this roster isn't going to get marginally better, I can't imagine, from this year to next year. Last year there was room to grow. We all knew it, and they filled all those gaps. The roster's crazy. How much, like, there's no A.J. Brown next year, odds are. So if this is what your core elements are, and this is in its prime with the right veterans, a 9-8 team.
yeah, because you're putting all this fire on it, right? And, like, it'll probably look a little smoother than last year, but, like, not much, like, that's just like, shit, they're still running the ball too much. Like, it's just,
Yeah, it's going to be all the Hurts contingent, all the quarterback conversations, what to do with the pick. It's going to be, and then it's all the relationships around Jalen Hurts. It's all of these guys in the building that love him, friends of his, former teammates that they've drafted and signed. Like, this is his team. In every way, shape, and form, it is his team, almost on the level of our Ravens, John, our Ravens, and what they've done with Lamar Jackson.
And sorry to Poe for the season-ending ACL injury.
God, R.I.P. to Poe. Yeah. That was brutal, man.
Brutal.
Absolutely brutal.
Can we talk about Lamar's Twitter likes real quick?
Wait, yeah. Didn't he like himself in a Dolphins uniform or something?
Yeah, he just went on a rage of all these pro-Dolphins. He's the new Dolphins quarterback tweets.
Oh, my God.
Because he does not have his own agent. He is.
That's right. Yeah. He's said that since the draft. So that might be a fun
And by the way, he hasn't signed a contract with Baltimore, and he would be available in a trade in the offseason. And, like, that's the kind of chaos that you get into is, like, is Lamar Jackson, do you go in?
Hey, let me just say this right now. Jalen, I love you to death. If Lamar's available, I'm so sorry. You're our new backup quarterback. That's how I feel. I would Russell Wilson, Vince Quinn, if it means that you can get Lamar in this offense. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, everybody. Like, Lamar's coming here. He's his own
take
agent.
much, Vince.
Yeah,
I know. That was
It's Lamar Jackson.
It's Lamar. Yeah, I mean, the guy
different breed, and I like that breed.
And he's been able to do it all the same without the elite receiving talent. His best receiver's Mark Andrews. Okay, like Mark Andrews is a badass. Don't get me wrong,
but him and AJ Brown together, and I don't wish it. I'm just saying, like, if it's available, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pull the trigger.
Yeah, so
kind of wishing it.
And that's the thing is,
maybe a little.
These are the scenarios though that you get into. If AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts don't work out, is that where you get into? If it's a 9-8 team and you're hitting the offseason with all these picks, and he's still available, is that where you get into?
Yeah, because I don't. Well, you tell me. Maybe it's not the worst case scenario after you're thinking about it now, because this team, as you said, is ready for a QB carousel-like thing, right? Like, just
always.
Who wouldn't want to play for A.J. Brown and all these other, talented dudes here, best offensive line. They keep them healthy. Like, it's very attractive. So, God, and that's what I'm saying. You see, that's I can already hear everyone going, we just did this with Russell Wilson. Now you want to spend an entire season on Lamar Jackson? And my answer is, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Probably.
If it's like this, yes, I do. And that's all I want to talk about is just give them the picks and tell Baltimore have a nice day. And next time we won't take Jordan Davis. And throw in Kyle Hamilton, too, because I'm Kevin Costner or whatever the line is.
Make it happen.
So let's 215-509-5833.
Yes.
Again, go text us.
Yes.
What are your worst case scenarios? And if you don't feel like texting us, our Discord is always open and welcome. Just go to bellandthebirdmen.com. There's an invite there for you. More importantly, we hope that there is no worst case scenario for you. But if you do find yourself without your water jug or, wherever, you just got to grab the tastiest, loveliest, most refreshing water in the land, Liquid Death Mountain Water. Just go to liquiddeath.com/bell to get every case that you order shipped to you for free. It is so delicious and nutritious because, again, it is water, and our body is made up of 90% water. Vince Quinn, did you know that?
That's some level of that, yes.
More importantly, when you do this, and you can go snag them at a 7-Eleven or simply order them on liquiddeath.com/bell.
ShopRite now too.
ShopRite as well. Oh, that's right. Taylor Cordatis
spots them at ShopRite.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but no, I don't hate to say this. This is just more my thing on, like, 7-Eleven is coming back around again. You can get this in sheets. You can get this on the other side of PA. Wawa. Get your shit together. So whether it's sheets, whether it's on liquiddeath.com/bell, whether it's at 7-Eleven, we urge you to save the planet a little when you do go out and you're on the road with all the road trips, all the tailgating, all that fun stuff. If flat water is not your thing, there's these amazing seltzers from lime to mango to berry, and no doubt that they'll probably release more as we go along. So thank you for your support. That is why, Vince Quinn, can we mention this real quick? And Taylor Cordatis, as I mentioned at the top of the show, thanks to you, and this is a you article that is happening here, the Philadelphia Inquirer was asking for recommendations for podcasts, and wouldn't you know it, numero uno on YouTube, we're showing you right now, right up there. You guys went and recommended Bell and the Birdmen. Vince Quinn put something in the Discord.
Yeah,
and like crazy that we woke up. I didn't even know, and it's like, hey, you guys are in this Inquirer article about the 45 Philly podcasts you need to listen to. So thank you so much, Philadelphia Inquirer. And was it Ryan?
Henry.
Oh, Henry. I'm sorry.
Henry Savage.
Henry Savage. That's right. Henry for putting this together. And thank you for putting us on the list. It was really cool to see.
Yeah.
That's all you, not us.
Yeah, it was really awesome to be first on that list, man. Because, like, I mean, we've been doing this for a year now and just all the time and energy.
Officially
and
a year.
I know. We've officially hit a year. And we had our birthday winner as well. So, like, having all of this and to see those kinds of results, it's one of those little things that, it really made my day.
Yes.
So,
It was
appreciate you so much, everybody.
Very much appreciate you. And speaking of that, one more thing of business we've got to clear up as our grand prize winner. Vince Quinn just said, Tyler, where are you, buddy? We have DM'd you. You officially have 48 hours to claim. What's the grand total again?
$551 is where it ended up.
$551. We put another $1 for every new subscriber that came in after 500. You guys have done that. It's outstanding. That remains still available and pending as of now, but Tyler,
Check your Twitter, Tyler.
check your DMs.
Yes, please.
We have sent it to you. You have officially won it, but if you don't claim it in 48 hours, we're going back in, baby. We are redrawn. So everyone, don't tell Tyler. Do tell Tyler, wherever your stake is in this. But we do have a grand prize winner, and we might redraw again in 48 hours. But, Vince Quinn, we have talked about misery. We have talked about A.J. Brown not working out, Devontae Smith not working out, this team being in purgatory hell with 9 wins. Give me the best case scenario, goddammit. You've already kind of mentioned already, but like you need to win me back here.
All right, this is going to be a very simple thing, John. I'm going to tell you the matchup. You tell me who's the better team.
Okay.
Okay? Eagles, Lions.
Eagles.
Eagles, Vikings.
Eagles.
Eagles, Commanders. Thank you. Eagles, Jags. Eagles, Cardinals.
Keep laughing.
Eagles.
Keep laughing.
Eagles by a nose.
All right. Eagles, Cowboys.
Eagles.
Eagles, Steelers.
Eagles.
Eagles, Texans.
Eagles.
Eagles, Colts.
Colts.
You're wrong. Eagles, Packers.
Eagles.
Eagles, Titans.
Eagles.
Giants.
Eagles.
Bears.
Eagles.
Saints.
Eagles.
We're going 15-2. I know. I looked through the schedule
This
today.
isn't going to age well.
AJ Brown
This isn't going to age well.
I know.
15-2. I
Well,
fucking love this.
Well,
Vince
that's
Quinn.
why it's worst case and best case, right? Like, that's the whole
15
point.
wins on the schedule is the best case scenario.
You bet your fucking ass 15-2.
We are really riding on the polls.
Well, look, yeah, that's if you're not playing the game, John. Like, this is the game.
All right.
So 15-2, because I went through the schedule of every single team on that schedule. I said the Eagles are better than them. I said that for 17 matchups that they're the better team. 15-2, like it happens. It's just
On
once
paper,
once in a while teams can run away. If the division is easy, if they stay healthy, everything's clicking. The offense evolves in the way that we think it will, or we hope it will. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts is amazing. The connection is absolutely through the roof. Devontae Smith is great. It doesn't matter who's at running back, safeties, corners, they're all kicking ass. Everything is just out of control good.
Man.
If this team plays to its potential as the best roster in the conference, it's going to beat the shit out of people, and this team is 15-2.
There's no Green Bay hesitation?
I think they're the better team. Yeah, Green Bay doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to.
Doesn't matter.
And
Still Aaron Rodgers.
No, but they're always in that short game when they can't get it going. If the line is weak or the receivers are weak, they like the short game, and our corners, the secondary, can handle that. So I don't know where they go.
Like, they can handle that. Do you hear this guy? Like, they miss they miss out on your favorites. Like, this defense is a titan in your eyes. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Why not?
It. I just if from the jump, this is okay. I don't see either one of those things as worst or best case scenario.
Well,
I just don't.
You literally cannot see a universe where the Eagles go 15-2. Top end.
I cannot see a universe where they go 15.
What's their best record in the John Barchard area of bestness?
Hurts is MVP of the league.
Okay.
12-5 in a bye.
All right.
NFC Championship game. If they get lucky, they go to the dance.
Yeah.
That's where I think I have them. Because, listen, man, A.J. Brown is going to fuck everybody up. This is such a game changer. Even though we've been saying it this whole time, I know Nashville pretty well now. Oddly enough, more on that later. But They are terrified. I'll tell you why they're terrified. They have to make up PR shit about Traylon Burks now. And he does look good in camp, and I'll give him that. And I might be a little wrong on how ready he was. He ain't ready for Ryan Tannehill, man. Like, those little short clips that you see from whatever the Eagles are giving out, that's why I'm not concerned about Jalen Hurts in the middle of the field or setting him up. He is ripping the ball away from bullshit. Greedy Williams sucks, and I understand that, but, like, he makes sure to understand that guy sucks. And as much as I'm going to hate his tweeting, and you will too, and you will too, and so will Taylor.
Taylor won't. Taylor will love the tweet.
I won't.
This is exactly what Philadelphia has been waiting for. Devontae Smith is complimentary, not a problem, and, like, those three together, the nucleus. I don't care who's your running back at that point. The offensive line's too good. Goddard's going to be there as a great safety valve. So will Kenny Gainwell. Blah, blah, blah. So will Trey Sermon, by the way, who catches more balls than I think he gets credit for, too. So, like, this team, if it does find its way early in the season, the defense is better than I think Vince Quinn. I take a large slap on my face.
You do.
Which I am proud to do at 12-5 with Hurts as an MVP.
And which you can't do to me with brass knuckles on that mug. You cannot. There's no slapping with the brass knuckles.
This is out. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's a punch.
Yeah, that's a punch. That's just unnecessary. But, like, I think the best case scenario for this team is Hurts is either clinching MVP, has MVP, and I'm not going to say he's going to get hurt on the goal line and fucking Gardner Minshew comes in week 13 and, like, that's not going to happen probably ever again. But I think this team is ready. It just needs that thing. And I think that's what's missing right now, by the way. I just think there's a thing missing that's not very tangible, that just needs, like, something needs to happen in the season that we all get pissed off at, and it recorrects, like, a direction they could have gone, and it just goes, nope. Fuck that. That's out. We're sticking with this. We're going with that.
No, see, it's kicking the shit out of people from the gate. They do it consistently. They win like 9 straight, 10 straight. We're going, holy shit, are they going to run the table? Is Vince Quinn the greatest Eagles mind that's ever lived? And then they lose one game.
Another Inquirer article.
That's right. Yeah. So
goes from egg on his head to total genius.
Yes. That's right. Soak your head in eggs. But you go on a run like that, you lose a game, it's the reality check once they float a little bit, you lose another game because things are weird. But the conference sucks. Like, it's not overwhelmingly that I think the Eagles are the greatest team ever. Like, I don't see them as that, but the roster is so fucking good. And if Sirianni and Gannon actually have their defense and offense and figure their shit out and everything's in line, then when the conference is this bad, if they stay healthy, they could steamroll a lot of people, which is why it's like, best case, all that shit's working out. You just can't stop them anywhere. It's passing, it's running, it's Hurts running. You can't contain anything. They're getting turnovers, and it's just fucking, it's game over a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, third quarter, we're going to see Minshew a lot just because he's going to close out the fourth quarter the way Foles did in 17.
6:48 to go.
Yeah, like playing the Bears in 17. They beat the shit out of the Bears. Like, that game, it was irrelevant by halftime, I think. And by the time the fourth
in the
quarter,
middle of the field.
Yeah, they did the electric slide in that game, right? Like, it could have that kind of vibe and energy and dominance to it if it's all clicking at the highest level, which is why I go, highest thing is 15-2. You're definitely going to the conference championship. And then, yeah, it's like, are you playing the Bills in the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Like, and then you just get to the nitty-gritty of it. But it's a good enough team to go and win the whole thing, obviously, and they can just be the story of the year.
Taylor Credatus, do either of these best-case scenarios fit into your mind? Out of curiosity.
A Hurts MVP season that's a lot. I don't know. That's a lot.
But more realistic, 15-2, or Hurts is in the discussion and possibly winning an MVP.
I guess 15-2. Hurts
Hurts
being an MVP is an insane turnaround from a year.
Well, and it wouldn't.
That's
be,
an insane.
This is a good Twitter poll.
I don't think it would be necessarily Jalen Hurts, like, doing it in the end, a la Carson and all the offense. I just think the team's going to be so good
just by
that
association.
They have to just give it to him, you know.
I do have one quick, not actually, probably somewhat likely. There's one really bad game. A.J. Brown talks mad shit about Sirianni after the game, and it's a Twitter storm for like the whole week. Tell me you cannot imagine this happening.
Yeah, no, that's a great prediction.
And that is a great Taylor best case scenario. Is
The tea is flowing.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, yeah, all that shit could totally go off the rails. Like, it's so funny between AJ Brown now and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like, who knows what the fuck's going to happen?
AJ Brown going off on Sirianni is like the easiest thing to picture in my head.
I think so,
just
too.
like him yelling in his face, and Nick's just like taking it in.
See, there is a lot of T.O. scenarios. Like, can't you just envision AJ Brown going, "Give me the fucking ball. I'll beat 22 up all day. What are we doing here?" You know, like, but I love that. If you don't have that in your wide receiver, sorry, like that dumb thing about, oh, you don't need high-end wide receivers to win Super Bowls. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So, man, like,
it doesn't hurt.
I bring on the Taylor T of AJ Brown. Bring on the 15-2. Bring on the MVP. I'll take either one. I'll take all of these. This is great. I am much more realistic about our optimism than our doubts here. So, one thing I am unfortunately not optimistic about, and this is sad to say, I don't think you can come to Washington anymore. I'm sorry. I think it's all done. I think we're like it's hit. I haven't updated from Vince. Last time we were at like 9:50. The trip was officially shutting down, but have heard through the grapevine that there are some seats available on buses that are currently already booked. So it's very, very tiny. It's the window is closed, but it's kind of open. So it's very limited seating. If you do end up going like, screw it, we're going, phillysportstrips.com/bell. Make sure you're signing up through there because you will sit on our bus. And we can rotate that out. That's still available to, shuffle seats and all that other stuff. So, but the good thing is, if you're missing out on this trip, you do live in Detroit, massive tailgate there, massive tailgate coming at home, Monday night opener at the Gatehouse, Navy Yard. Like, things are starting to happen. I cannot believe that we're flying to Detroit next week.
I know, it's crazy.
Where did fucking August go?
Oh my God.
I don't know about anybody else, but this is like, I've been hearing off season's been dragging. This has been going very fast for us. So that's great because we're all anticipating something awesome. But man, I cannot wait to be wheels up, hanging out in Detroit. Hollis Thomas, Philly Sports Guy is going to be there. We're going to be like in the middle, apparently, of where all the Lions fans hang out.
Yeah.
So it'll be just like group of 100 people around like 1,000 Lions fans. So lots of good content coming from that. But like, man, the season starts next week.
It does, which is also why, if you haven't signed up for the Discord, it's happened. The Pick'em League. Pick'em League is active. You go to our fantasy channel, so it's BTBM FFL, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the Discord and double check that rather than just yell a bunch of letters at you that aren't right.
You will definitely see it. There's a unicorn next to it.
There it is. Yeah, BTBM FFL. If you find that in the Discord, that's where we posted the link. It is called the Dan Snyder is a creepy piece of shit Pick'em League, and the password is in the Discord. So you're going to have to go there to sign up and join us on that.
I need a ruling from Taylor's Bet Slips. This is a non-spread pick'em. Is that ridiculous or is it not? I think it's rather ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, man.
So
that's fine.
What I will say is I will happily play that pick'em. That is so much fun regardless. But I think for the spread players, we'll have two going by the season, to keep it interesting and all that. And I love that we're doing this in the Discord. We tried to get a fantasy league to go in, and there's just too many people, and we didn't have time to handle that. But we figured we'd do this in an elimination pool. So that's all happening within the week. Make sure you're jumping in. If you forget any of this, it's all at bellandthebirdmen.com. We so appreciate you, and a special shout-out to our best Bell and the Birdmen member, Ben, for sending this awesome cup. And who knows, by the next time you listen to this, you might be able to win $561 again. So, Vince Quinn, anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's pretty much all I got. Fun to go down the rabbit hole. You know,
Oh,
just
love the rabbit
now
hole.
that we're on like the brink of the season, it's just fun to see all the chaos that's in each of our heads. So really enjoyed that, and curious to see what people come up with as well.
Absolutely. We will see you on Tuesday, and we'll have a bonus segment that, well, we don't know what we're going to quite talk about yet, but join us on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, if you're on YouTube, well, hang around because there's some fun stuff coming your way. For Taylor Cordatis, that is Vince Quinn. I'm John Barchard. This is Bell and the Birdmen. We'll see you real soon right here on bellandthebirdmen.com. Okay, bye!